Okay, I'm sorry. I am very sorry for that. Okay, I am. Listen, the coffee just hit. I wasn't even sure I was gonna do a motherfucking podcast, but then the coffee hit. I'm waiting for laundry to get done. Maybe, just maybe, I might go get fucking Taco Jerry's. That way, it's that way. Just because I love Taco Jerry's and I haven't had that motherfucker in so goddamn long. It's so good. It's so good. If you've never been to Taco Jerry's in Forest City, you're fucking. You need to get your ass over there. You need to get your ass fucking some Taco fucking Jerry's, okay? It's a local business. Go support your local businesses. If you don't, I'm coming the fuck after you. I'm gonna go find where you live and I'm gonna kill you. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's calm the fuck down here. I forgot my. Oh, you son of a bitch. I knew it was gonna do that. Alright. Need my zins. We need our zin. I haven't actually had a zin today. I've been up for 2 hours. No zin. I may or may not have a cigar. Bro, cigars are they're pretty badass. If you've never smoked a cigar, I'll get you one. I'll get you my fucking cigar. I like them more than cigarettes, to be honest. Not because they're stronger, because American spirits are pretty strong. But I just like the feeling. You feel like a mob boss, dude. You're sitting there puffing on a cigar. No worries in the goddamn world, dude. It's a fucking awesome feeling, man. I love them. I fucking love them. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna motherfucking get your kids. Bruh, what's crazy actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is me and my brother were talking about last night how fucking tired we get now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not that old. He's 22, I'm 21. And he has ADD, I have ADHD, so we're supposed to be hyper and shit. But I feel like I'm never hyper anymore. I feel like my ADHD was just taken out of me. I might not even have it. ADHD might not even be a real fucking thing. They might just diagnose kids with ADHD because they have a lot of energy. They're like, oh, this kid's going to be a problem. Put him on meth. I don't know. I don't really believe in it because I've had certain experiences where I felt just fine. Like I don't feel ADHD at all. I'm usually on mushrooms or when I'm smoking weed, of course, but I don't feel like I have anything, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm a normal fucking person. The only thing that's fucking crazy is my brain because I was on some weird ass pills as a kid for this ADHD, you know what I'm saying? I was on meth pills basically, dexmethylphenidate. And so my brain was literally formed off of fucking meth, dude. So I'm like, fucking crazy. I gotta calm down. That's basically what the fuck we're working with here. I need to hide this actually. Let's do this. Fuck you too. Stay up there, you son of a bitch. There we go. Now I can't see myself at the time. That's all we need. But yeah, that's what I wonder about, like with a lot of mental disorders, because psychedelics are starting to prove that a lot of mental disorders can be cured, like depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, um, ADHD, fucking all this shit is starting to be. Psychedelics help with this. You know what I'm saying? And if they help, like they can just rewire the brain, then it's not a disorder, is it? It's just a fucking brain wiring issue. The brain got wired fucked up, and these substances unwire the fucking brain to be able to look at everything in a new light. You know what I'm saying? It basically takes the sorry, I had something in my nose. I'm telling you, I'm a crazy person. Here I am. All right. It basically takes your brain, takes off all the previous. It's like rewiring a house essentially. You fucking strip out all the fucking old wires. It's like rewiring a house, but you forgot a lot of the old connections in there. Like shrooms aren't no fucking psychedelics in general, I suppose, they're no silver bullet. They don't just solve your problems. You gotta have a lot of fucking knowledge. It's an insane experience, okay? Because it's 6 hours long if you take mushrooms, 12 if you take acid, dude. And unless you have prior knowledge and experience and the right set and setting, the right people, the right knowledge in your head, the your intention, all these things come into play. You basically got to sit down and talk to the mushrooms as if they're another person, which sounds crazy, but it's not that crazy because mushrooms have proved, or yeah, mushrooms, not just psychedelic ones, but mushrooms in general, the species of fungi have been proven to have intelligence. So our plants are intelligent. Humans are, we think we're the smartest fucking thing on the planet. And to me, if you want me to be 100% honest, I think we're the dumbest fucking species that have ever walked planet Earth. Like, yeah, we could do all this shit, but where the fuck? We don't know how it happens. We don't know how TVs got created. We don't know how. Actually, I'm gonna turn that off. We don't know how any of this shit happened, dude. Like, unless you're some Elon Musk type character. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that you could read a lot of books. You can look into like physics and all this shit, neuroscience, and a bunch of other shit that shows you how the fuck to get to a certain point. But where does all that come from? Is what I mean. Like, we can't prove that comes from the mind. We can't prove that ideas are our own. You know what I'm saying? That's I don't even look at my own brain as a like I. It's obviously a part of me. This brain holds all my past experiences and my future experience or my future anxieties and my identity as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Cody Kiss lives inside of here. But then there's something much deeper than that, in my opinion. It's a soul. It's an energy that we hold within our being that is completely separate from the mind and the body because the body holds its own intelligence as well. The body had intelligence way before the mind had intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Monkeys, they have all these fucking pre-wired things within them. They know how to fucking do this, do that. I don't. My example, I should say, is like, God damn, that washer's loud. I'm sorry, getting excited. So let me take a drink. Let me just. Monkeys, not just monkeys, every single animal has these evolutionary fucking things within us. Like a golden retriever, for example. They just know how to retrieve. Or a pit bull, or a German shepherd. They just know to protect the family. You know what I'm saying? Some things just don't need to be taught to us, like how to breathe. It's or how our heart beats, or when we gotta take a shit, our stomach's just like, oh, I'm hurting right now, brother. You need to go take a shit now. And you're like, oh fuck, I gotta go take a shit. It hits the body before it hits the mind. Some things, obviously, and then there's some things that go to the body from the mind, like emotion. Emotion is a thought. It starts in here. Something either upsets you, makes you sad, makes you happy, and then you let that emotion translate throughout the body. It starts as a thought, though. And that's my point, is that we have all these things that we're not really aware of. That's why I look at this, and it really helps. Most people don't do that. When I'm talking about things within my head, I'm like, my brain's doing this, my brain's doing that. I look at it as this separate entity. Yes, it's part of me, but it's not me. It's not me. It's not. Yes, I'm Cody Kiss, but then there's something deeper than that. I'm Cody Kiss is just a fucking physical thing on this plane. You know what I'm saying? Cody Kiss is gonna be here 100 years if he's lucky, and then he's gonna be gone one day. What is behind that? What is fueling Cody Kiss? What is making me me? You know what I'm saying? That is what I believe the soul is. You know what I'm saying? Something is within us. It's not just electrical impulses. If it was just electrical impulses, you could shock a dead body and it would just work again, right? That's not how it works. We have these fucking things that something is within us. If you've ever seen a dead body, dude, something's missing from there. You look at this dead body, whatever it may be, a cat, a dog, a person, and you look at this thing and you're like, okay, something's not, we just know intuitively, we feel it in our being that something's not right in there. Like, it's not just that they're sleeping. Sleeping is a completely different thing because you can look at a person and know they're sleeping. You watch them and you see their chest. We know. But, and you get this feeling that, oh, they're alive. They're good. I know this because there would be a lot of times when my niece was born. That was 6 years ago now. When she was the first baby I was ever around. I'm actually gonna go switch my laundry. Give me a second. I realize I don't need to pause it. You just come with me. Come with me, switch my laundry. God damn it. But when my niece was born, what was I even talking about? Hold on. Let me think, dude. We're talking about intelligence beyond our imagining, and when my niece was born, um, shit. All right, just give me a second. I am gonna pause this thing because now I have to remember what the fuck I was talking about, and I don't remember. So we're gonna pause this, and I'll be right back after I switch my laundry. I remember now. Don't worry. And I still haven't switched my laundry. It was only a few seconds. I just sat here thinking. When my niece was born, I would go and check in on her, you know what I'm saying? Because there's this thing, I don't remember what it's called. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. What is it called when a baby dies in their sleep? I'm pretty sure it's sudden death syndrome. Yeah, SIDS. SIDS is when an infant just dies in their sleep, dude. It can happen. It's insane. And when I found out about that, it's called sudden infant death syndrome. And when I found out about that, I was like fucking terrified, especially when I had to watch my nieces by myself and I had to put them to bed and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, what if this kid dies under my watch? You know what I'm saying? And so I would go in there every once in a while to check on her. You know what I'm saying? Check on my other nieces as well, but check on this one specifically because it was a baby. You know what I'm saying? And she was the first baby I ever experienced in my life. Well, the second, technically, but I didn't get much time with my other niece when she was a baby because a bunch of shit went down with my sister. That was around the time my parents were getting a divorce, so we were all fucking tweaking out, my siblings and I. That's when I started doing pills and shit. That's when I started doing all kinds of nutty shit because, you know, when your parents break up, dude, it like fucks with you. It fucks with you bad because you have this structure and this place that you fucking know. You have this certain way of doing things and being, and then it's all taken from you in the blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of fucks with everybody. But when my point being is that it didn't take very long for me to watch my niece walk in her room, look at her, see she's okay, feel that she's okay, and then I keep moving on. But with a dead body, it's completely different. You look at this thing and you know that is a husk. That is just a former thing of what this human or animal or whatever the fuck it is used to be. That's not your loved one anymore. It's literally just a body. And you can feel that. You can feel that as a human being, dude. That something's not right with this thing. Something, whatever the fuck made that loved one that you love, whatever made it is gone. And it's a weird ass fucking feeling. And I didn't know that before. I didn't feel any of that before. But I've been illuminated through experiences and knowledge that I've gained, that it's reality. There's something in us beyond electrical impulses and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? And I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what that is, to be fair. And I don't think we can until we're gone, obviously, but um that's why I look at the mind and the body as separate entities. The mind and body is Cody Kiss, essentially. It is me. And I'm not trying to talk about myself in the third person like I'm badass. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm Cody Kiss, obviously. But it helps to look at your identity, your mind and body as one thing, and then your soul is another. Your soul is what fuels it all. But then your mind and body is a part. You need your mind and body to operate on this physical plane. You wouldn't be able to operate. That's what contains it all. Our brain's a receiver. It's like a TV. Like I could break this TV right fucking now. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean Netflix is broken or I can't watch something somewhere else. It just means this receiver's broken. You know what I'm saying? That's my main point. And I think the mind blocks us off from that, to be 100% honest. Me and Adam were talking about this yesterday. By the way, I might be able to get him on a pod today. Him and I were going to do one yesterday, and we ended up talking for a while. We did a pod with no mics or cameras, you know what I'm saying? Which I like those too, where you're just fucking chatting it up with somebody and you're just having a good time. That's what my entire reason for starting this thing, because I realized, oh, conversations are awesome and I can do it too. That's pretty badass. And so I started this thing to be able to talk to people. Not many people want to get on yet, but I sit here and talk to my fucking self. Damn, I'll talk to myself. I love talking. I just love talking. I love just sitting here and getting ideas out and shit. But me and Adam were talking about the fact that I used to only believe in science, and when he's always been a devout Christian, and he's always, that's what I've respected about Adam. Like Adam's had this same mindset that I have. Like there's something like what do I want to say? Like I used to think I was the king of the world, right? I've said that before. I thought I was hot shit. Adam, he's never been like depressed or anxious like most people, but he never thought he was the king of the world. He was humble about it. He always knew that something was above him because he believed in God and he had this moral structure that kept him on the right path. I didn't have that. And I think that's super important for kids to have, because if you don't have a moral structure or a moral code or how to be and how to respect people and how to live your life properly, you go off the fucking rails just doing whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? Plus, not only that, you feel so empty inside. You feel like you're missing something. And I think humans always have that feeling. I was watching a podcast with Huberman yesterday and Morgan Housel, who wrote The Psychology of Money. And I've read that book 2 or 3 times. It's a very good book, and I might listen to it again, to be honest. I listened to it. So let's calm down, say I'm reading shit. I listened to it. I want to get more physical books, though. But my point was that they were talking about how rich people, like billionaires, millionaires, tend to spend a lot of money on health, because health is something that you can't attain easily. You know what I'm saying? You have health when you're young, and then it slowly deteriorates over time, and that's one thing you can't get back. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, I'm pretty sure there was a question that somebody asked wealthy people that if you could give up all your money and start again at a young age, would you? And they say they would, because they already know how to make money. They know how it's done. They know how money works. So if they could get their youth back, they could do a lot of the things that they didn't have the time, or they didn't do in the past. You know what I'm saying? Time and health is one of the most important fucking things on this planet. And I have a video, I actually, I might be able to clip it in, to be honest. Maybe I'll clip it in. I don't know. I have this video of me with this Trump hoodie on, dude, and I was like a fat little kid in high school still. And my homie Alexi was like, "The fuck are you wearing?" Which is Adam's sister, by the way. Adam's sister's an awesome person. Me and Adam's sister and a couple other homies used to just cruise around, talk, chill. Lexi's like my fucking sister too, dude. She's awesome. I love her to death. She watches this. Shout out to Lexi. But she actually gave me some pod advice, pod ideas to like edit shit. And we had a conversation about it. I don't like editing podcasts. I'll edit the other stuff, like if I do cooking videos or vlog type shits or other things, I'll fucking edit it. But I don't believe in editing podcasts because it makes it unauthentic. You know what I'm saying? Even the pauses and the weird things, like I like it. I like all of it. And I think that somebody will find this and be like, "Oh, I'm glad he didn't fucking edit this," because it makes things more real. Too many people are out here looking for the quick fucking things. I heard that. I heard one day that it's like a 24-hour cycle. People make content for a 24-hour cycle, so it's a 24-hour content for a 24-hour cycle. You see it for 24 hours or however long, and then it's gone forever. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to do that. But point being that I had this. mentality. And when in the video, I'm like, I look good, don't I? When I was fat, ugly, I had a fro, dude. I was like, what the fuck? I think I'm gonna clip it in. I'm gonna clip it in because it's gonna be pretty awesome. I'll clip it right.
What the fuck is that?
I look good, don't I?
And here we're after. Okay. And so I've always had this mentality that I like this self confidence, you know what I'm saying? And that's what was taken away from me when I got depressed. I I started to look at myself as other people do, you know what I'm saying? How they look at themselves. I was like, there's something wrong with me. I'm not normal. I just didn't like myself anymore. And that's why I slowly got back to this place where I do love myself. And I think I needed to get that depression because I wouldn't be me. Also, I needed to be humbled. I needed to be humbled to where I knew I wasn't the king of the world. I'm not like that's the problem with not having a moral structure is there's nothing above you. Even with all the science I used to research and shit, looking at nature and shit like that, I didn't think that nature was above me. But bruh, the thing is, it's so funny because like I'm sitting in this house, right? And if you sit in a house, you're like, oh, I'm protected and I'm protected from the elements and I'm good. And this is my safe space. But if an asteroid or a fucking earthquake or a volcano or a tornado, any giant natural disaster comes and just fucking splats this fucking place, you're not separate. You're not separated from nature. It'll destroy these fucking walls like they're nothing. And that's humbling. That is a humbling thing to know that it doesn't matter how fucking hot shit we think we are, doesn't matter how much money we make, doesn't matter how anything, doesn't matter all the cars we have, fucking uh uh uh, the doesn't matter the possessions we own. We're nothing, dude. We're just human. That's all we are. And that's why I also like to record the downsides of life. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm not feeling too hot. Sometimes I'm not doing too great. But I like to record those times too because not everything's fucking perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I think it can help people just knowing, hey, everybody goes through something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be this or that, we're human. There's trials and tribulations, and shit's not always going to be sweet. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's very beneficial for people. But whether it be a religious moral code or like just a moral code that you make up yourself, I think that it's very important to pass down a moral code to children, to be respectful, to be moral, and to be kind, and to be loving, and to treat people with respect, no matter what, even if they don't treat you with respect. I've been come up, I used to, and sometimes I still do, if somebody comes up to me disrespectful right off the rip, I'm not gonna be respectful to you. But I've gotten better at that, you know. Like I'll sit there and like chat it up with the person, and hopefully I can knock down their ego enough to where they start like looking at me as a human being and not just a inferior to them or superior. What's the word? What's the word? Hold on. Yeah, I think that's the word. Inferior. Hey Siri, is inferior a word? Inferior. Inferior. That's the word. But I don't like when people come up to me right off the gate trying to act like they're hot shit. I don't care who you are, dude. I don't care if you're the president of the United fucking States, dude. I don't care if you're fucking God itself, dude. I don't even think if God was a physical person, the goddess, fucking the divine spirit, whatever you want to fucking call it, if it was a fucking real person, I doubt it would treat us like we're inferior to even though we are, because we are a piece of it. That's what I fucking was talking to Adam about yesterday. Is everything has God within it. Everything has this divine energy, this divine essence that fuels it and keeps it going. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people walk around as if they mean more than they are. Like, yeah, we have our potential and we're unique in our own ways, but we get caught up on our identities. And I'm guilty of this myself, even to this day. Sometimes we get caught up in ourselves so much that we start to look at everything else as as what can this do for me? How is this gonna make me feel? All this other shit. And it's kind of fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, we all have these unique identities and we all have these unique perspectives and ways of being, but that doesn't make us better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make us fucking hot shit. It doesn't make us less than anybody either. We're all equal. And I've talked to a lot of people that just naturally have that feeling and have that perspective, but it took me a long time to create that perspective. And Adam's always had it. That's what I respected about him. He's never been narcissistic. I've known that motherfucker for a long time. We've always lived next to each other. And he's always working, he's always getting money. Dude always had money, but he never acted like it. He was humble about it. He's like, nah, just because I have money doesn't make me better. God's still better than me. And that's my point, is that we need something to humble us. And we used to have oceans and the Jesus. Hold on. Just give me like 2 seconds. We've always had oceans and the night sky to humble us. And now with light pollution and all the lights that we have everywhere, dude. And not just that, we don't go outside as much, especially in the winter. Who the fuck's going outside in the winter? I barely go outside in the winter. I look out there and I'm like, fuck yeah, it's cold as hell out there. I'll stand out there for like 15, 20 minutes and then I'm done, dude. But that's the thing, is the cold used to humble us. The heat used to humble us. We had all these things that made us know for a fucking fact that we're not shit at all. We're not hot shit. You stay outside in that fucking cold long enough, dude, you're not gonna make it. That's as simple as it gets. Doesn't matter how much money you have. Doesn't matter who you are. You could be fucking Jeff Bezos. You could be fucking Elon Musk. It doesn't matter. The cold's gonna fucking kill you. You stay out there long enough, you're done. And that's my point. Is that we need to be humbled. We need to realize that we're not all that. Like, especially just because we're so fragile. We're so fragile as humans. Anything can kill us. You eat the wrong thing. You get stabbed in the heart. This thing right here is the only thing keeping us alive. You stab that dude, you're done. You're fucking done. You get shot, you're done. there's no amount of money, there's no amount of this or that's gonna save you at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? And that's what more people need to realize, the fragility of our form and our identity. And I think that's how most people live their lives, and structure their lives is based on that fact that we're very mortal. We are very fragile as beings, and it's not that it's not that crazy to fucking assume that there's something higher than that. Something that, because like, if you know as much as I do, and I'm not saying I'm fucking smart as shit, the smartest person on this planet, or I know anything, but you know, like a lot of what I know about nature and science and biology and all this shit, there's something. There has to be something that pushes. It's like chess, dude. They push these pieces together and it all works somehow in this perfect way. It doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense somehow. And science helps to prove that. You know what I'm saying? Mm. Sometimes it's good to just sit in silence. Just give me a second. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that, and it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier said than done, because kids are just wild, dude. They do what they fucking want, especially after they get to a certain age where the hormones are taking over, and and they're getting to an age where they realize they're independent of their family structure and all that shit. That's when the identity starts to take over, and it starts to wrap us up in something that we don't get out of a lot until we've lived enough or had these enough experiences. Like, that's my main like thing with psychedelics, dude. Especially, like, it's no silver bullet. It would have taken me probably 40, 50 years to get to this spot that I'm at now. That's all it does, is it fucking allows you if you do it successfully in the right set and setting, the right way, with the right knowledge, you can shortcut your development. And that's what I've been trying to do. Is I thought that I could super speed my development, because I did in a sense, but there's a certain point where it just stops. Like, even psychedelics can't get you to that point, because time is essential for anything good, for alcohol, for food, for a relationship, for anything. You need time. And what's crazy about that is that's the mind creates time. Time doesn't really exist. That's why I like to cover the time on this thing, because the best way to do a podcast is to be in the present moment and to forget how long you've been doing it. You don't want to think about all that, because then the mind gets all fucked up. It's like, oh, it's only been 25 minutes. What am I gonna say next? You don't want to fucking be thinking about all that. You just gotta sit here, be in the present moment, and let it all fucking flow out how it flows out. And that's what everybody's chasing, is the present moment. I think that's what love is. I think that's what peace is. I think that's what bliss is just being present. You know what I'm saying? That's what all spiritual teachings point towards. That's what the art of Zen is in Buddhism, is being so utterly present that nothing affects you on the well, it'll affect you on the surface level, but on the deepest level of your being, it doesn't affect you. And you just it's like an ocean. Yeah, the waves are fucking they're fucking there could be tsunamis, there could be all this shit going on the top of the ocean, but at the very bottom, it's calm. Nothing's moving, and it's all just peaceful. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I think more people need to be humbled. I think that's why I'm such a psychedelic advocate, is because that humbled the fuck out of me. Even just a little marijuana, dude. You fucking don't smoke for a long time, then you smoke a little bit of weed, dude. It feels like, I think weed is a psychedelic, to be honest. I think it's a psychedelic, because the feelings I've gotten from a high, like not even a high dose, just a tiny amount sometimes. It's that's what the crazy part about psychedelics, dude, is that it's not the dose that makes the poison. It's just the experience itself and your tolerance of the substance. If you don't have a tolerance of it, of marijuana or mushrooms or acid or anything else, you better strap in for a wild fucking ride, because it gets scary real fucking fast. And bro, there's been times I've smoked walking through Lime Creek in Mason City. I smoke a little bit of weed, then go take a walk, dude. And the feeling of the marijuana mixed with the exercise and your heart rate going up and the clearness of your mind at that moment, it gets so scary, because you start to feel like a little kid again. You're like, oh, I'm terrified. I'm by myself. I'm just a little kid in the woods. Like, and I think that's beneficial for everybody. I don't care who you are, because a lot of us go around walking around like our shit doesn't stink, and that's not our fault entirely. Our brain tries to protect us from certain emotions and certain feelings and things that make us. We, I heard yesterday from Morgan Housel, the same pod I was just talking about, that we all wake up and assume that what we believe is true, because it helps us get through the day. If imagine waking up every day not knowing whether you believe what's in your head or not. That's kind of how I wake up, dude. I well, yeah, I'm pretty open minded, and I'll ooh ooh we're doing pretty well. Fuck off. Stay up there, bitch. There. I'm pretty open minded. I don't know what this little box doing here. Hopefully it doesn't fuck anything up. I'm pretty open minded, so I'm willing to admit where I'm wrong a lot of the time. And if it's explained to me in a rational, reasonable way, I'm willing to admit where I'm wrong. And I'm willing to question every thought within my head. I like to do that because it keeps me on my toes. I like things that keep me on my toes. And because I've already got this identity that thinks it's hot shit. Okay? I don't get depressed very often. I don't hate myself very often. And that's why when I get thoughts of like drinking, or I do drink, I start to fucking feel like a real piece of shit, because I need that. I need to feel like a piece of shit sometimes. It helps me. And it's not, I don't want to be a piece of shit, obviously, but illuminating my personal downfalls and things that I could improve help me to become a better person. And without things like that, that's what I like psychedelics for and certain people, is that they'll illuminate my downfalls. You're walking around like your shit doesn't stink, and somebody tells you, oh, you just left a giant pile of shit in the corner and it smells bad. And then you're like, what? I thought it didn't stink. What the fuck? And you need that. Everybody needs that. We all need to be fucking humbled. Humility is the key to success, I think. Because if you're walking around like you're hot shit, thinking you're the most badass motherfucker on planet Earth, then you're gonna it's gonna be a rough ass life for you, brother. And I'm speaking from experience. You know what I'm saying? Life is not all sunshine and rainbows, and you're gonna be humbled really fast. And I try to teach my nieces that, especially my sister's kid. She's kind of soft, and I love her to death. I love my sister's kid, but she's kind of soft because she's an only child, and she doesn't have anything really to humble her. You know what I'm saying? I put her in a. I don't know if I should say that. All right, I'll say it. I put her in a closet one time, and it wasn't that long. Like, I wasn't being a dick. I wasn't locking her in the closet. I just put her in there. I was like, hey, isn't that your toy in there? She walked in there. I closed the door for a second, and then I opened it back up. You know what I'm saying? I never heard the end of that for months, dude. For months, she was mad at me for that. But I try to, like, in unharmful, like, I'm not trying to harm anybody, physically, mentally, or spiritually. But I try to give my nieces and nephews life. Life is not always fucking amazing, you know what I'm saying? And for kids, it can seem that way, that life's always good, you're always being handed things, especially if you're not taught that things can go sideways real fucking fast. And I think everybody needs to realize that hey, maybe things are good. That's the problem with my brain. It could be considered a problem, or it can be considered beneficial, that I've got this thing in my head that's always waiting for shit to hit the fan. Like, even when things are going swimmingly, I'm like, all right, when is things gonna fucking start hitting the fan? You know what I'm saying? Because I've always known, my dad's always told me, life sucks, life's gonna be hard, get your shit together. He's always been straightforward and realistic about shit. And he hasn't always given it to me in the right, like, in a way that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But he's always tried to give us the fact that, hey, it doesn't matter if you fucking, it doesn't matter if you have the money for your bills or not. It doesn't matter if what are my more examples? Life doesn't care, essentially. Doesn't matter if you have the money. Doesn't matter if you have the time. Doesn't matter if you have this or that. Life's gonna throw shit at you whether you want it to or not, is my point. And if you're not mentally and physically prepared for that, life's gonna get hard as fuck, dude. And you're gonna be soft as hell. Everything is gonna be traumatic. Everything is gonna be a fucking hard experience. Everything's gonna be fucking against you. You know what I'm saying? Until you start looking at things in a different perspective, to where, oh, it's not coming after me. It's helping me. It's helping me become a better person and learn from these experiences. And that's what you have to do. You have to build your mind up to where it's this titanium box that cannot, it's indestructible. And that takes a lot of time, dude. I'm not saying my mind's indestructible. I have my moments. I had my moment last podcast where I almost drank, you know what I'm saying? I still haven't, luckily. And I'm going to keep going strong. I have to. There's no backtracking at this point. I can't handle myself, you know what I'm saying? So I have to accept that, hey, I need to just keep fucking going. And I don't even think in 40 years I'm going to drink, because I'll be nervous that, especially if I've done the things that I want to do, I hit 60 something and I've done the things that I wanted to do, and I've had a family and all this shit. I'm not going to touch alcohol, because I have the fear that it doesn't matter how much time passes, if I throw alcohol into the mix, I'm going to fall off the wagon again. And I don't want to fall off the wagon. I've got this addictive personality. I wanted to go to the gym today, but I fucked my shoulder up somehow. And it only hurts in certain directions. And I'm hoping, like I said, I'm a hypochondriac. I'm hoping I didn't tear my rotator cuff or nothing. It only hurts a little bit today. It's like the back of my fucking arm. It might just be sore, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But it hurts. Like I lifted it up like this. See, I feel a little bit of pain when I do that in my rear delt. It's in my rear delt. Mmm. See, and I think it's from either being sore, or I fucking pulled something, or like I work out too hard sometimes. So maybe I fucking worked out too hard. And also one day at work, that day that I was gonna do a rant video yesterday, I guess, or the day before yesterday. Yeah, the day before yesterday, I was throwing step boxes at work, dude, which is these heavy ass fucking steel things that I build. It's basically the interior. So in an RV, you've got the two stairs that are built into the RV, and then you've got the extending stairs that come down. I build the frame of the stairs that are already inside the RV, and those things get heavy because it's a lot of steel, it's a lot of weld on them, and when I get mad, sometimes I just fucking pull them off my. Because I always lift them. I like to lift shit at work. You're technically supposed to use a hook and a conveyor to build like or a lift to lift it up. But I just fucking pick that motherfucker up, and when I'm mad, dude, I throw him. I'm like, ah! I think that's what did it. I really do, because I'm an idiot sometimes, and I go way too hard. I bet we're at 40. Yes, we are. Look at that. But yeah. I guess the point of this podcast is we need to be fucking humbled. Everybody needs to be humbled, and I think it's good for us as human beings to have a good fucking have a good structure that'll humble us. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like the gym. That's why I like meditation. That's why I like psychedelics. That's why I just like everything in general. That's kind of why substances have been my best friend. Like I won't lie. It's why I have an addictive personality in the first place. Is because substances are always there for you. Doesn't matter how you feel, happy, sad, mad. It doesn't matter. You can always go get alcohol. You can always get weed. You can always get this or that, and it's a guaranteed. I'm gonna feel better. That's why I like it, because humans aren't there for you 24/7, and you can't ask for people to be. And the problem is with substances is they're addictive, and you can fall down a very dark rabbit hole like I have in the past. And fucking, it's not that distant of a past that I fall down some dark rabbit holes because you get into certain modes of thinking or feeling, and these substances are there for you and they help you out. But the thing is, you got to figure out how to do this shit yourself. You can't be fucking putting things in your body all the time to fucking escape yourself. You have to figure out how to live with yourself. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where I'm at in this thing. I love you guys. Bye. I'm going to clip that clip in.